I did all that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Silverline Silver Sunday. This is the 1st of February. January is over.
No,
A month already into the year.
I know it.
32nd of January. That's what it feels like.
Right? I'm your host, Admiral Man. I'm joined, of course, by a man who wants to build a snowman, Mr. Thomas Flormani Jr. Say hi.
I'm gonna build a snowman.
You don't want to build a snowman.
No, because the snow's not sticking for us anyway. So
No, and I don't even have any snow. And we are, of course, joined by the Tom Moister himself, Mr. Tom Mason.
Hi, everybody. Have you ever built a snowman?
I have. One time.
I have.
All right.
Mine was about this tall.
A little tiny snowman,
Like a
It was
minion.
more like a snow baby.
That was a minion. It was a minion snowman. And we are, of course, joined by militantgazette.substack.com himself, Mr. Mike W. Belcher. Say hi, Mike.
Howdy. And I have built numerous snowmen. I'm
I
quite
bet
proud
you
of my
can go
record.
right now and build a snowman.
You
It
have
is
like
hard as a
real
rock
snow,
out there.
too,
You
though,
can't
don't
touch
you?
it. There's like 2 inches of ice out there. You can't even roll
You
something.
can build an Iceman. You got
Yeah.
X-Man.
If you were a kid and grew up in snow country, and then you had kids and lived in snow country, you've built a lot of snowmen.
Yeah, very much. Yes.
I can only imagine that.
Hey, what did you use for their noses? You put a carrot in there?
Yes.
A piece of coal. Coal for the whole
I
face.
thought coal was eyes in the mouth.
I know, but around here we just grab whatever rocks.
I would use much to my dad's consternation. I would use charcoal briquettes from the barbecue,
The grill.
Mhm.
and then I always made sure that when I was a kid that we had a carrot on hand.
Just in
And
case.
well, and when it snowed, when this is so stupid. When snow was forecast, I would rummage around in the refrigerator and see if my mom had bought carrots, and then I would take one and I would sort of hide it in the back, make sure that it didn't get used.
Not a rainy day, for a snowy day. You had a carrot. I watched the video just a little while ago. Renee showed it to me. There was a guy walking his dog in the snow, and he walked by a house and had a snowman with the carrot in the nose. The dog looked at it and bit the carrot right out of the snow. It was so funny.
The one time I built the
You
snowman,
guys
I
have a
think-
good one. I'm out of here. That was my one joke.
the one time I built a snowman, we used sticks.
That's for the arms, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would over the summer and the fall, if I found a good stick, I would always automatically say, well, this is either a gun or I'm going to use this for snowman arms.
Right.
Then I would put the stick away somewhere in the backyard.
No, you put the stick by the carrot because you're saving up. You're saving supplies up for your snowman.
Now, I felt confident I could hide a carrot in the refrigerator. I didn't feel confident I could hide an arm stick in the refrigerator.
Yeah, maybe
Sticks get
behind.
mowed, right?
Hmm.
Your yard gets mowed, so the sticks get picked up. Or
No, I had a side area in the house that was no grass, so you could just put.
Yeah, Tom had a box. It was a snowman builder box, and he would just put parts in it.
it was like go bag.
He named it
Right in the
Fred.
middle of summer, saving up parts for his snowman.
Yeah.
His parents, his mom, and dad are like, "What are you doing, boy? He's saving up for a snowman. Get ready."
Being prepared.
We always had a burn pile, and so
Oh yeah.
and as a kid, I had to pick up sticks regularly from the yard, and go throw them in the burn pile. When we got into a neighborhood, Dad got a barrel, one of those 55-gallon drums, and we burned everything in that.
I find myself picking up sticks in my neighborhood when I'm walking the pup, and Renee's like, And there goes Thomas. He's piled up more sticks.
Yeah. Here, because we've only got the one tree out front. So when it drops sticks, I just take it over and throw it in the flower bed.
Yeah.
Is it like a Charlie Brown tree or is it like a real tree?
No. It's a great big,
okay,
big tree. Yeah. But yeah, it's we've only got the one. So Pop says, "Hey yo, what's up, Pops? Thanks for hanging out with us as always."
Hey, Pops.
If everybody needs to know, we can. We've got our Roku channel that people can still see our shows.
This should be on Roku. Matter of fact, if you're watching this on Roku, hey, what's up? Thanks for joining us.
I think it's live. I think he puts them up like the next day or something like that.
Yeah.
He edits out all the bad stuff and then he puts them up.
Yeah, no, I think he leaves all the bad stuff in. So
no, I think he's probably going to cut this first part about us making snowmen out and then put the rest.
I can only apologize so much for my behavior.
He just uses the feed of me and Tom responding to things.
That's right. That's right. You get a lot of reaction shots of me and Mike going, what?
He was telling me there was a way I can fix my screen up so I can see that, but I'm afraid to mess with it. I'm afraid that I'm gonna, I'll mess it up over here because I don't know.
Because you did it by accident the first time.
I did, yeah. Let's see here.
Don't.
Yeah, I know. I'm pushing buttons. I'm like, show comments on stage. So here we go. See, I can go. See, that doesn't do anything.
That's well, now we look like some weird
Razor Ramon. He's the wrestler. Hey yo, and then you throw your toothpick out.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, so I'm not.
Only Mike and I know what I'm talking about.
So we've got 52 minutes to go on the Cray crowdfunder, y'all. We are funded. So for those of you who are like, I don't really want to do it, it might not make. We've made our goal, so get on over there.
And those numbers up for us a little bit.
Oh yeah, someone said the 4-issue sets are a sweet add-on. Shenandoah ECA. Thanks, Shenandoah ECA. Yeah, so like Shenandoah says, you can back the campaign, but then if you miss something else, you can pick them up. So you can get the entire 3-issue set of Fire Rush, Teen Beatles, Switchblade. You can get the entire 4-issue set
all of 4 Trumps.
All 4, yep. All
if
Trumps.
We do it right, maybe roll on a run by my office and I'll sign the one.
Them. That's right.
Yeah, sure.
So there's all of Trumps, all of Twilight Grim, all 4 issues of Kalis, the first volume, all 4 issues of Divinity. And there's still some artwork left. Looks like let's see here. I could be sharing this, couldn't I?
You could.
Well, people just want to see us.
If you had any kind of marketing background, perhaps.
Right. Yeah. Share the window that has.
We should point out that all these issues are finished. They're all ready to be printed.
They are done. We just need to place the order. Yep. So here's the original art that we've got left. We made an announcement recently. Martin Mertonen, who you guys know from from the Wednesday show, contributed a new piece for us. So we added that last week. That's still available. There's the Tommy's Inks over Rob Davis for the cover to crate number 3. That's available.
That's great barbarian horse art.
Yep. Also, here's a sweet thing you can do. You can actually get Rob's cover in pencil, and then also get Tommy's ink, so you can have both of them to compare.
And those are real. That's on real paper too. That's
on real paper.
Yep. Yeah,
it's on 11 by 17 paper. Yep. And also then there's Javier Lugo did the cover for number 5. You can get his pencils.
Nice.
And the more Tommy inks, you can get this is over Jose Fuentes for crate number 4. And again, you can get Jose's pencils, so you could have the pencils and the inks and hang those side by side and say, look what Tommy did to the pencils.
Like a before and after.
Yep. And then there's also this cover to crate number 2, which Tommy inked over Jose.
I'm starting to see looks like a lot of stuff that nobody's wanting there, Roland.
No, there's some. See, this one went. You inked that
Oh,
one.
that
That
one
went.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just that we had a lot of really good options here for them. So, if you guys,
great prices on that original art.
Yes,
art
it is.
is so expensive nowadays. So yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, because if you pick that up from me at a show, it's going to go for a little more than that.
Yeah, and look, if
Maybe
you're a
not.
digital person, then you can get the stuff in digital too, right? So if you want them all, and it just says the three. But if you don't have, because we don't have a digital catch up, but if you don't have 1 and 2, you can just click that little plus sign that comes up, and then send me a note that says, "Hey, I want all 5 of them," and I'm happy to do that. That's not a problem. So anyway, yeah, there's where's my timer here? There's 52 minutes to go. So
did we have to figure out what you were doing with the trade cover?
Yeah, I don't have it here with me, but we're going to do the blood. I posted a picture. Oh, wait a minute. I bet I can show it right here. Updates. There we go. It's not open image and new tab. Can y'all see that? See, we're gonna have some blood splatter.
That's the image that comes up when you share the crowdfunder online.
Yeah, but without the blood splatter.
Ooh, you've added the blood.
Yeah, you see there's little blood splatters right here. Right.
Yes, each one is going to have a custom splatter effect on it.
Yeah. So see, that's the regular image right here. Right. And then this has blood splatter. Yep.
And then
is that where you accidentally slice your finger while you're printing it out, Tommy?
No, I'm not doing. Roland's going to slice his finger off and just fling it.
I did actually cut my finger, but
it's got Gene Simmons blood. That's what it is.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Tommy said he'd throw some blood in the ink, so just provide it. Yeah. Agent Cub, what's up, Agent Cub? He says, "Well, hey, I thought you did your show on Sunday. Wait, what day is this? Is Sunday, Agent? You're behind.
No kidding.
In fact, Agent, guess what? It's no longer January.
That's right.
It's February. So
Agent Cub's confused with me from Valentine's Day as well.
He is.
Yeah.
It's almost for me, it's almost the end of sports for 2 more months. So
Super Bowl's coming up here.
Super Bowl is next, and then there's this long gap before baseball starts.
Oh, see, college ball starts in about 2 weeks. So I watch college baseball.
Oh, I don't get college baseball on my
because my Razorbacks are usually pretty good.
So you support your Razorbacks no matter what the sport is.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so you're a college supporter basically, not just a sports supporter.
Correct.
So no matter what your college is playing, you're in.
Yeah. So last year I was able to go see the baseball team 4 times live,
Wow.
and I saw the softball team once or twice.
Is that the one where they pitch it underhand and it goes like a whip,
like a rocket? Yes.
Yeah. I don't know how anybody hits that.
So last year, the gal from Tennessee set the record for. And I don't know whether it's like all of softball or just Division I, women's softball. 77 miles an hour throwing underhanded, y'all.
That's
I can do that.
That's almost baseball speed.
It is, right? Yeah. I would bet most of us here. I haven't tried in a long time. I bet most of us here couldn't even throw it 70 miles an hour overhead.
No, there's a meme that goes around on social media where there's an interviewer that asks people on the street, basically, if you had 100 chances and you knew what pitch was coming, could you hit a professionally thrown baseball pitch? How many could you hit?
100 chances.
Yeah, my answer is 0.
I think out of 100, I'd finally be if I could just if I knew where it was coming, I'd just hold the bat out and wait.
You would bunt it.
Yeah, I'm going to say out of 100 chances, I think I could hit it once because I did play baseball. So, but now I've never hit from a 100-mile-an-hour pitcher. So that's my big question. But 100 chances.
100 chances. What could you do?
I feel like it hit it one time.
I'm pretty sure it's 0 because I've tried to use the batting machine at the cages.
Yeah.
And that doesn't come close to 100, but it's pretty good.
They do have different settings.
I can't see it.
Yeah, they're moving.
Yeah.
The last time I played fast pitch baseball when I was about 45, I think. I played one season. It was a community senior league baseball, fast pitch baseball. And I got up there thinking, this is gonna be.
I can do it.
Yeah, this is not gonna be. It's a bunch of old men right out here. Everybody's my age, and got up there and whoosh, I'm like, oh my gosh, that was fast. Yeah,
that's like a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
It is. Yeah. I mean, it was community, so no one was throwing, major league pitches. But it was still. It took me several at bats before I even made contact.
You might as well ask me if I could fight a bear. It just didn't happen.
Agent Cub says, "You guys watch sports? What a bunch of nerds."
Yeah, I know.
I throw a mean 25-mile-per-hour slow ball. Yeah,
might be able to hit that.
I could throw food faster than I can throw a baseball.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, I you know what? I can't even tell you. We're gonna watch the Super Bowl. What is that? That's not today, is it?
No, it's next Sunday.
Next Sunday. Okay.
Yeah.
Mike, you gonna watch the Super Bowl?
Probably not.
Tommy, you gonna watch the Super Bowl? Tom, you gonna watch the Super Bowl?
I will watch the Super Bowl.
You will watch? Yeah, I probably won't watch the Super Bowl either.
I'll be the only one. It'll be but my loyalty to the show is such that I will turn the game off when 5 p.m. rolls around.
Now, what you can do, Tom, and I have done this in the past on rare occasion for our show, because this is our show, right? I have a screen right up there.
Well,
I have put ESPN right up there before.
Well, I have an iPad sitting next to me, and I will turn it on to watch the score.
There you go.
He's going to put the iPad right behind the camera so he can just stare straight into the
It's like a teleprompter, but it'll be a big game.
Tom will be sitting there looking directly at us, and Tommy is going to say something about, really in depth about comics, and Tom is going to go, oh, he dropped it.
I'll be looking like this too, so I can get a better look at the screen.
Right, yeah. So, anybody else? Any other news?
Go Seahawks.
Go Seahawks.
Oh, Tommy's bottle.
Oh yeah, Tom.
Let's go.
You did Tommy, that. Tell us what this is.
Yes.
I'm real good buddies with one of my bicycle shops. We've talked several times on air that I do a lot of cycling and stuff, and I've been doing some artwork for our one of my local shops that I'm buddy with. And they had me design this for Sanford. The shop is in Sanford, Florida, which is a rather big city right above Orlando. And the shop is Bicicleta. Bicycle shop, which also in Spanish means bicycle shop. But I keep making fun of her every time we talk about this. But anyway, so I didn't design this logo. This was their
Yeah, you did the bike guys.
But yeah, I did all the rest of it. So I did design just this little slogan thing to match kind of with their art.
Yeah.
And then all of this stuff. So the city has 4 or 5 major things like this. This little clock was like the first couple of years that the clock, the city was, established. It was 1877. So this clock had been missing for like 50, 60 years, and they found it in somebody's attic. And so it's on Main Street, and then right around the corner is this big fountain that's like 100 some odd years. So I had to come up with a way to put all these things in there. And then, of course, this is me and her riding our bicycles. So that's like a little cartoony. So anyway, there you go. So water bottle. We're doing jerseys and stickers and all kind of stuff. The jerseys should be here in a couple of weeks.
Cool.
I'll show you those whenever they come in.
Very
but anyway,
nice.
Water bottles.
Is there going to be a ride to commemorate this?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay. David H. Gutierrez says Tom needs to announce the scores as it updates.
Yeah, but I won't give the team names. I'll just say stuff like, well, it's 16-14 now. It's 21-18.
Do the station ID at the top of the hour.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh no, it's 7-0.
Who's winning? The 7.
Right.
The one that's got the higher number.
That's right. All right, well, that's all my news for today as well. So our topic is, are you guys ready? This is going to be a fun one.
All right.
If you are doing this, you're wasting your time.
With
What
relation
are
to what?
things that comic creators are doing, or we can say comic creators, comic publishers are doing that is wasting their time? I'll go first while you guys are thinking, right? So this one is going to be aimed at the writers. And I hear this a lot more from film writers than from anybody. I went and I've written, 10 scripts, but, they're just all practice scripts. And I'm like, wait, what? You've written 10 scripts and you don't have any intention of ever publishing them? So my thing is this: if you are a comic book writer and you're writing full scripts just to do it, you're wasting your time.
You'll go blind.
You should. What's that?
You'll go blind.
You go blind. You should be writing with the intent to publish everything you write, right? Now you might not. That's not what I'm saying. But you should be writing with the intent to publish everything that you write. I have never written, and maybe Tom, being the other full writer here, you chime in. I have never written a script from start to end that I didn't already have a contract or an agreement for that I was going to write, say for you, or that I had said, well, you know what, if I can't sell this to a publisher, I'm going to do it on my own.
Yeah, I'm similar. I've not written anything for practice or just for fun. I've always written with a purpose. It's like, well, this is a thing that I could use. Sure, I could publish it myself also, but this might be a thing that I could talk to Roland about. Right. Or this could be a thing that I pitch as a TV show, or this could be a thing that if somebody, not that they would, but if I met somebody from Mad Cave and Mad Cave said, send me some pitches, I would have this thing in my pocket. And so there's always in my back of my head, there's always a purpose, even if it's not a definitive purpose. Like, I mean, there's not money on the table necessarily, but I have an idea of where I could take this and show it.
But would you just have like outline rather than?
I was going to say, let me be more specific. Is that I think you should have. Have plenty of pitches that you're like, hey, I've got these pitches. Again, don't just write them for practice, but I don't have a full script. That's not true. I do, but it's because I had an agreement with somebody, and the script didn't get published.
And you fleshed it out, and then it just didn't go anywhere. Yeah.
Right. Yes. It was. Tom said, "Hey, you want to do another one of these series?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So I wrote it was She Devils on Wheels. You remember that, Tom?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And so I wrote it, and then it just never went anywhere. Right. I've also but I wrote those under the with the understanding that, hey, we're gonna take this, we're gonna make a comic, and it's gonna go. We're gonna publish it. Right. Now, as it happens, it didn't get it. That's the way it goes, right? But I didn't sit down and say, well, I'm just going to write part 2 of She Devils on Wheels just because I want to do it. But
sometimes I've gotten like an idea that there's no market for.
Yeah, but did you just write the idea out, or did you write an entire script?
No, what I've done is I've written everything I can think of about this dumb idea, and I put it in my my digital folder or whatever. Yeah. Under the idea that, well, if something ever happens to it, right? If somebody ever comes to me and says, "Hey, do you have any stupid ideas?" Right. Well, oh boy, do I!
I've got a whole book of them.
I was going to say I've got folders of those, but
how many do you want, sir? I got
but my ideas tend to be more in the forms of paragraphs, of notes, of character, not full on, page 1, panel 1 scripts, right?
But I also find that once I write it down and put it in the file, that my brain still comes back to it every now and then. So like 6 months later, I'll think, oh, here's what I could do with that story. And I'll jot more stuff down. And so it becomes these giant, sort of fluid documents that I'm always adding to just in case somebody says, hey, what do you got?
Well, what stupid idea you have? Yeah.
Right. Because the thing is, if you're a creator, and if you're a good creator, you're always meeting people.
Yeah.
And it's not always like I don't go to conventions specifically to meet this editor or that editor, but I have, sort of accidentally been in a room where it's like, hey, that editor is there, or that publisher is there, or that artist is there, and you just start talking. It's like, hey, I like this person, and then
I like you, you like me. Let's make a comic.
yeah, it's like, hey, yeah, and then it's like
comics together.
But I never take advantage of it like that. It's more like if I meet people and I like them, then a friendship or an acquaintanceship will sort of build up, so that somewhere down the road, somebody might want to see my stupid ideas.
Yeah,
but I'm never going to places with specificity to pitch.
Right. Yeah,
that's just deadly.
Yeah. Well, and of course we've talked about that too before. Is that you wanna meet people, you want to build your network because people want to work with people they like, right?
Yeah, and I think we all know this. We've met people who could publish our work, and it's like, no,
no, I'm good.
No, I'm good. I'm fine. I'd rather be unpublished.
Right.
I like you. You're a good lunch person, and it's fun. But it's like,
yeah, I like to hear your stories, but I don't think I want you publishing my book. No, I don't.
Yeah, I don't have any ideas. Sorry.
I'm fresh out.
Yeah, I got nothing. I would love to help you.
Yeah, so that was my start. Is that comic book writers should not be acting like movie writers, and that they just write all these film treatments are different, but a full-on script. I've talked to people. Oh, I've got like 13 scripts that I wrote for movies. I'm like, but why? Because I need, I have to practice. I'm like, it's about the story, and then you can edit, and so that's mine.
Lord of the Rings.
Right.
You want to read it? 600 pages.
Yeah.
Are reading.
All right. So who's next? What do you got?
Oh, I've got a good one.
Good. Go, Mike.
To thine own self be true.
Oh, here we go.
Don't follow fads.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the biggest thing in comics, is that it's so easy to see what other people are doing and think that that's your ticket.
Yeah.
And really, at the end of the day, all you're doing is really just making yourself a copy, because everybody's going to see yourself as a copy. Because we all see it. I mean, look at every big artist that's ever come around, and all the clones that came afterwards. Who remembers them?
Yep.
And also, it just wastes your time. It goes back to what you're saying about writing scripts that don't go anywhere. It's also by following the fad, you're not making any progress for yourself, because you're really just treading in somebody else's ground.
Right.
It's so much, actually, it's okay to be inspired by something.
Yes.
But at the same token, you're missing the opportunity to show people what you can do with a particular genre or a particular way of doing about it. But if you're thinking, the way you're going to pitch something, or the way you're pitching it to yourself, as far as wasting the time self-publishing, because guess what? Self-publishing, it's not easy either.
Right.
No.
Don't waste your time doing somebody else's dream, doing somebody else's style just because you think it might sell. I mean, you could spend plenty of time doing something that doesn't sell, that's at least original, that's at least something that it keys to what you were intending on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's my thing. I think that following fads is one of the biggest time wasters.
And I think if you're an artist, the worst thing you can be is, oh, you mean that guy who draws like Dale Keown? Or you mean that guy who draws like Wrightson? Or you mean that guy who draws like Darwin Cook? It's like, now when those guys came out, they drew like themselves, and people noticed. And it's like, man, have you seen this?
Right.
And no one ever says, hey, have you seen that guy who draws like this?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So it's, if you create your original look and you can pair it with, an idea that matches the look, that's really, I mean, you may still not get rich.
Right.
However, people will notice you for who you are, not for who you copy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Like I said, you can be inspired by a number of people. A lot of the things, the way you do things. But how you tie it all together is the difference between doing something your own way and just following somebody else's path.
Yeah. Agent Cub says the thing I need to stop doing that wastes my time is wasting my time.
Wasting time.
Yeah.
I suggest alcohol.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that social media is really bad about is that, I can jump on YouTube looking for something like, oh, what's that thing? I need to go, I want to go see this thing, or I've heard about this thing, or I want to go. And then I looked at it 30 minutes later. I've been watching YouTube for 30 minutes. What the heck? I was only looking for this little, 30-second thing.
I got 170 open tabs right now.
Right. And you can hear the computer going.
There's steam coming out the back.
That's when the blue screen of death in Windows pops up. You got some
right.
Windows open.
Remember the Macs used to have the little bombs that came up.
Yeah,
right.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I missed those.
Oh, I don't miss those at all.
Did they make a sound? I can't remember.
Yeah, they went like kind of like a donk, right? Kind of a donk. Yeah.
Like a broken axle.
Yeah.
I think that was the because of those blue screen of death and the little bomb is why Windows and or Apple and Windows they started figuring out how to make more memory, cheaper memory.
Yeah,
it was always a memory problem.
Yeah.
My thing is is more of a technical side of things. We see it, and it happens.
Good.
4 times this week over in the Kablam side of the printing side of stuff. People putting in a lot of effort to get a bunch of people together. One of them was a project that was 3 or 4 people were working on it together, and they finally said, and he didn't follow any of the tech spec, and everything that they did was like 72 dots an inch. So it wasn't gonna print. And it's like,
was it all
like,
digital?
All that we have, and I'm like, no, you got to send over some high res stuff, and it was fully. It wasn't just cartoony stuff. I mean, they had put a lot of effort into coloring. It was a good looking book if you looked at it on the screen.
Right.
One of those projects. There was 2 or 3 of them this past week.
You didn't print on
dot maker for them? We can print this, but it's going to look like poopy. And they're like, no, we don't want it to look like poop. And I'm like, well, we're going to need some high res pictures. And like, no, we did it at
72 dB.
That's 72 dots an inch. And I'm like, well, then it's not going to print, but that's all we have. And then you just sit back and like, I'm so sorry.
It'll look like a Roy Lichtenstein painting.
Yeah, what can you do, right?
There's no, and they started it at the beginning. It's like the penciler. I think it was a digital thing they drew it, and the penciler penciled it at 72 dots an inch. They used our template, the 7 by 10.5 thing, and he penciled it at 72. There was inked at 72. It was colored. It was lettered.
There's so much information on the web. You can find that out.
Right?
Yeah, we even tried to use some of these AI res things that res them up or whatever, and they can only do so much.
Yeah,
they can't do what they advertise.
No, they can't. They can do
work magic.
Stuff. They can make the art look pretty good, but they can't fix the lettering. And the lettering is something that you can't use those resing up programs that because you just can't, because it's going to change words in the reading stuff. There you go.
Agent Cub is thinking along the lines of what you're talking about. It says, can
it doesn't do as well as you think it does. It does pretty good.
So could they take the could they take the letters off and run the artwork through and then re-letter it?
Well, I'm not doing it.
I know that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I guess we'll see next week. No, it was like 3 or 4. We usually get a couple a week where it turns out that they've.
So do these people submitting this? Are they usually younger or are they older?
I don't ask their age. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure.
Another thing about and that same thing about talking about wasting your time is when somebody does a full-on Star Wars book. We get them all the time, and you're like,
really?
You cannot print that, and they're like, why not? Because it's a fan fiction thing, and I'm like, what? you can't. We can't print that. You can go somewhere else, and maybe somebody else will print it for you.
Kinko's will do it for you.
No, because I'm not getting you. You want us to get the whole Kablam shut down for us printing something? Disney will, right down the street, they will come around the corner and
they will show up on your door.
That's right. Dude. Hello, everybody. This is Mickey Mouse. Can you open the door?
You printed Star Wars. You can't print
Show up in
that.
costume to try to trick you.
It's like, oh no.
Those are Disney's two favorite characters, cease and desist.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Stuff like that every
Write
now
that
and then. Like,
down.
yeah, there's so much time making this beautiful thing, and there's been a couple of times we had some Transformer ones come through, and I'm like, name everything, call it something else. Just seeing some other dudes that are car robots. No, this is Optimus Prime. I'm like, okay, well then you can't print it. I'm trying to give you an out. You just won't print.
I don't understand it. I mean, I guess I do, but I don't, because to me that's a waste. Creating your own Star Wars comic book or creating your own Optimus Prime comic, whatever, that's a huge waste of time, because you can't do anything with it if you're trying to print it. If you're drawing Optimus Prime as practice, fine. Right. If you want to write something for practice in that arena, that's fine too. But if your goal is to get that stuff published and whatever, that's a huge waste of time and money.
Big waste of time.
We had somebody do a Spider-Man book and we told them no. And then they go, okay. And then they resubmitted it a couple of weeks later. They just changed his colors into like green and purple or something. I was like, it's still Spider-Man.
And they inverted the logo. Now it says Man Spider.
Yeah, that's right. No, like, I'm so sorry. You put a lot of effort, especially when you see stuff that looks really good. And it's like, well, I got a copy for me. It was really nice.
Yeah. I think that's that's probably a whole other topic. There is that the misunderstanding of a lot of copyright law. Is it?
But the one thing of this, like we said, some of the waste of time when they did all of that work and they started off on the wrong foot at the very beginning.
Right.
I feel so bad for those folks, because they probably are going to quit at this point.
Because if you have the talent to, I mean, do they write and draw it themselves, or do they have an artist, or who?
This one I'm talking about that happened this week. There was 3 this week, but this one I know, there was 3 different people working on it. No, we get them all the time.
That's the thing. It kind of irritates me, because if you can find 3 people, and you can write a comic and draw a comic and get a comic lettered,
make your own.
Why would you waste that creative energy on Star Wars?
Yeah. No, this was with the Star Wars one. This was the one that it was their own thing.
Oh, that was the 72 DPI one.
They started off on the wrong foot with the penciler digitally drew it on the wrong size, and then
that's just ignorance.
Yeah. So life lessons learned hard.
Yeah. And I have saved a numerous job for printers.
Yeah.
By stopping guys saying, when they get it to me for lettering, it's kind of like, I got some issues here. You guys might want to take a look at before we go any further. And it's like, and if I have to really explain it to them, like, with pictures, there's problems. But generally, I get those 72 DPI things, and it's like, did the guys you use ever done this before? And have they ever dealt with printing resolutions? Have they ever dealt with? Well, the artist, that's what he turned over to the inker, and that's what the inker did to the colorist, or the inker and the colorist are the same guy. And it's kind of like, well, you need to go back and things need to be adjusted, because here's your problem.
You
when he exported these files. Yeah.
You hope that they exported it out of something and it just turned out to be small.
Yeah.
Rather than, that they did it, small to start off with. It's like, no. Make you want to cry a little bit. You go,
for them.
Yeah.
All right. What else?
I got one.
All right, Tom. What do you got?
Stop trying to break into comics.
Good one.
We've talked about this before, and what I mean is, don't keep. I mean, if you want to, go ahead and send your samples to Marvel or DC. They're not going to look at them, and they don't care, and it's a waste of time. But if you need to do it, go ahead and do it. That's not the way to break into comics. And don't tell people you're trying to break into comics. The best way to break into comics is to make a comic.
Do
get it published, because then you're not breaking into comics. You're in comics.
Right.
And if you draw comics and post them on the web, you're in comics. If you draw a comic strip and get it published somewhere, you're in comics. You're not breaking in, you're in.
Yeah.
And so comics is like the easiest thing to break into.
It really is, especially today.
Yeah,
right?
It's only hard to break into Marvel and DC and Dark Horse. That's
Right.
it. It's easy to break into the actual comics industry.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was because that was going to be mine is a little bit along those lines, aimed at, because I was trying to have something for writers for artists as well. Is that if you're an artist, stop drawing Spider-Man, stop drawing Superman pages.
Yeah,
I mean, think about it. You know, if you go to a convention and you see an artist that presents you, oh, here are my 6 Spider-Man pages, here's my 6 Superman pages, and of course everybody's got Batman. Here's my 6 Batman pages, right? Well, that's 18 pages. That's a full-on comic book. You could have done your own thing and had it printed and had it printed and published and said, hey, here's my comic book. Not here are my sample pages that I can't do anything with.
Right. And my comic book online has this many views, and my comic book sold this many copies, and I go to these many conventions, and I have this many followers on social media, and it's like that's how you that's how you get into comics. Yep. You don't break in, you get in.
Yep. You just do it.
You could just walk into comics. It's so easy.
Well, and that's it. As you know, this is one of the things I say in my class. I'm like, there's never been a better time to make comics than now, because it is so easy. You know, back when we all first got started, it's like, you know, we had to lick the stamps and make photocopies and send it in, you know, in the postage to mail to people like Tom, and then Tom would say, why did you forget to put your phone number on the package? And
because you did.
You know, it was completely different back then, and it's so easy today. Just do it. You can be your own gatekeeper. That's the thing.
I never got any work doing comics by doing Batman inks or Spider-Man inks. It's, you know, I found pencils from whoever was penciling something. I said, here's an extra couple of bucks, make me a copy when you make your copies. And those what I did. So it was just whoever buddies that I could get pencils from, you know, it's what I did my ink samples.
And you were producing a lot of pages through Malibu. I mean, you were inking a lot of pages at Malibu as samples of, hey, look, Marvel, here's what I can do. Right.
Marvel is an expert. I wasn't I don't think I ever got a Malibu job by inking something that was Malibu related to start off with. I was doing something else, and here's what I can do. You know, here's what I can do. You know, I made sure that it was kind of relevant to what y'all were doing. I wouldn't, like, if it was a Saturday morning cartoony kind of thing, I'm not sending, you know, full rendered Bernie Wrightson type and stuff.
Right.
That's not what they're looking for. So, you know, at least you send what they're kind of, you know, publishing.
Right.
But so
I like Agent Cub's comment here. He goes, I don't draw Marvel or DC pages unless I'm getting paid for it.
That's
there you go.
I mean, if you that's another good point. It's like, if you're going to take the time to draw a full-on page, draw it for yourself. Draw it for yourself so that you can do something with it.
Because even
or if, you know, if you're collaborating with somebody, like, you know, collaborate with Mike or Tom or Tommy, right? Or if you collaborate with somebody that you're going to do something with, then that's fine. That's different.
But even if you're doing your own work for yourself, and you happen to run into the right editor at Marvel or DC, they're not going to stop you and pull you aside and say, "This is great, but I wish it had been Batman." It doesn't work that way. Just make your own comic book.
Yeah, because most people that go to Marvel and DC nowadays is because the editors have seen their work someplace else.
Yes, because it's a passive system where the editor sort of finds you online or through recommendations.
Right.
You don't chase down the editor and force your work in front of them. That doesn't. That system never really worked.
No,
except anecdotally, you'll find some guys throughout history that's the way it worked.
Or it
doesn't work that way.
For sure, it's not working that way. You're not, you know, the editors are it's word of mouth by, you know, you have a friend that's drawing a comic for a certain editor, and they go, you know, I'm really needing somebody to. Well, I know a guy.
I know a guy.
That's it.
This guy.
That's 100% it. I know a guy.
Right. I know a guy. And it's like, well, I can't do it, but I'm too busy. However, I know this guy, and you even if you can't use him for this, you need to know him.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You may come up with something.
Back in the office days, if Tom's like, "Hey, Roland, I need an inker for this project. You know, you got anybody?" Tom,
Right.
I just so happen to know a guy.
Right. I know a guy. I think that's how that's how almost everybody got to us. I was trying to think. I think the only guy who submitted something over the transom was Lowell Cunningham.
Yeah.
And that was because when Malibu had 4 employees.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
That didn't work later. But we always had the drawer full of the best samples from pencilers and inkers.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I know a guy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's how we kept Mr. Flormonte busy, and that's how we kept Ken Branch busy.
Yep.
It's like we knew a guy.
Yep.
And often you'd hear this from the office, usually from you, Roland. It's like, Ken doesn't have anything.
Right.
Ken's finishing up something. He's going to be out of work around February 20th, February 21st.
Right.
I like Ken. We should keep him busy. And then it's like,
before,
okay,
before he goes off somewhere else. That's
and that was it. That was the thing. It's like, okay, well, because the reality is, if I can't find anything for Ken, he's got to go look for work somewhere else.
Yeah, because he's got
and he will, right?
Because he's good enough. Valiant will take him. If not Valiant, then he'll do fill-ins at Marvel or DC, or he'll do something else. And it's just no, because the thing is, and we all know this, once you find a creator who can do the work, you want to try to hang on to them.
That's right.
This is my creator.
That's right. No, you can't have him. These are mine.
They mess up and they piss you off, and then you cut them off.
Yeah. It's like
squeeze every bit of
Agent Cub says Ken who? Ken Branch.
Yeah.
I don't think Ken does any comic book work today that I'm aware of.
There were then Barb Kahlberg is in that same spot too in Malibu. It's like when Barb needs work, let's find find work for her, because always great looking work, always on time, really fun to talk to on the phone, really good to deal with. That's it.
Keep the producers busy, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it.
Professionalism.
And that was one of the things that I loved about The Office, is because, I mean, for the whole, the editors all got along. And so it was like, hey, you got anything for this guy? I've got this project, but I'm not going to get pencils, for another week and a half. You got anything you can, throw their way? And we would try to keep them busy.
Yes. Because
Hank was really good about that. I mean, Hank was really good about trying to, find something for someone else, or if he had somebody he didn't want to go, he'd come over. Hey, Roland, I got, such and such, and I don't have anything for a week. Could you use a cover from them? And I'm like, well, if I can get Tom to give me the budget, yeah.
That's right. We're always trying to, because we're way off topic now, but this is the time of year, February 1st, when artists especially would start calling us going, look, I just did my taxes. I need $1,000. I need 500 or $1,000 to pay my tax bill, because I'm a freelancer and I didn't put anything away.
Right.
That's how we got so many guest covers all the time, because it's like, okay, we'll get you a guest cover, or we'll get you something to fill that gap. And then word sort of spread, and then we became the tax people. every February 1st or so, people would be calling up going, hey,
you notice that all the artists would come down on their prices around tax time, right?
Right. Well, because they didn't need their page rate, they just needed their tax money.
I need to pay my taxes. I don't want the IRS coming to the door.
David A. Scudero says, here's a rookie mistake. My then writing partner and I spent weeks prepping 10 Marvel pitches that went nowhere.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I can imagine that.
But I have a friend who also, he met through friends. He met an editor at DC, and the editor said, "Hey, do you want to come and pitch for this book?" And so he worked up some pitches for that book. That's different.
Yeah.
Because he had an in. So I would do that if somebody asked, because that feels like a path.
Right.
But those blind pitches.
And that's kind of how it, I don't know how it does it works today, but that's kind of how it used to work. It's like you'd be somewhere at San Diego Comic Con, and Tommy would say, "Hey, Roland, there's my editor over at Punisher 2099. Did you do 2099 or Punisher 2099? Come on, let's go say hi. I'll introduce you to him. Yeah, and we'd be talking, and then blah, blah, blah. Roland, what do you do? Blah, blah, blah. So well, why don't you send me some pitches?
Right.
Great. I'll send you some pitches.
So when you guys are writing these pitches, in the back of your mind's like, yeah, I'm going to write this for Punisher 2099, but I probably could use this for something else.
Well, yeah. I was going to say you're always kind of thinking that because the chances are more likely that your pitch will be rejected than accepted.
Right.
So
if you want 5 pitches, 4 of them could be used for something else. Right.
Right.
Because I pitched a bunch of animated series that did not get picked up, but I had an in because I had a meeting with the executive and this is what they wanted and whatever. So I had the pitches and they didn't take them. And then I thought, well, I'm going to do something else.
Right. Yeah.
With this thing. Because
I like the idea, right?
I like the idea. And, I think we all know ideas are sometimes hard to come by.
Yes.
So if you can
that kind of ties the whole subject together. It's like if you're not working for the next thing, you are wasting your time.
Right.
Because all of a sudden what your current thing that you're working on ends, and then all of a sudden you're sitting around for 2 or 3 weeks waiting for something. You just wasted 2 or 3 weeks of your time. So that is a big waste of time.
So these are pitches that I wrote for Dave Olbrich. Dave Olbrich, he was doing something with this goes back several years, Tom, so you're gonna have to help me remember. He was doing something with Disney. And and he had it in with Gladstone, maybe.
No, it was the DreamWorks.
Gladstone, isn't that from the movie?
Weren't they doing the? Disney had a thing that they were doing their licensed comics.
Yeah. These are all
they weren't fun. They weren't the funny ones. They were
these were all Mickey Mouse Goofy pitches.
Oh, okay.
Right.
No.
So I don't recall. It's been so many. Nothing ever came of them. But I wouldn't have sat down to write these pitches on my own.
You're not a Mickey Mouse guy.
I'm not a Mickey Mouse guy, right? But here's the thing, right? This one right here, it has life. I'm going to do something with it.
That's right.
Recycle.
Got a spark in there, right?
Because I want it, because I like this idea and I want something to happen with it, right?
I had an invitation once to pitch some Scooby-Doo stuff.
Oh yeah.
And Scooby-Doo is just a mystery story with a monster in it, where the monster is human. I liked a couple of the Scooby-Doo ideas. I've saved them over the years, and I'll get back to them for the same sort of reason.
Yeah,
because I like this. It won't be 4 teenagers and a dog, but it'll be it'll be something.
Yeah, it'll still be your story. It won't be Shaggy and Velma and
it'll be Haggy and Melma.
Right. David A. Scooter has added. He goes, "We thought we had an in at Marvel, but we were just being pawned off on an assistant."
Oh yeah, that's cold.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that happens sometimes as a way to say, hey, I hear you, I see you, I don't have time for you, and I really don't want your pitches. So here, give them to that guy.
Or when the editor was talking to you, and between then and 3 weeks later, when you come back with your pitches, things changed, and all of a sudden,
yes,
that's true too.
Yeah, and there is a lot of truth in that, because sometimes things can change quickly in comics. I remember when, after the Marvel purchase, I think you were still around, Tom. We had been to Marvel. We've been to New York, and one of the editors. How do I dance around all the names? One of the editors was having problems with an artist, and we had been talking to that artist all week long, or maybe 2 weeks, and didn't realize the artist was messing up their deadlines with Marvel.
Right.
And so I was trying to, keep a straight face and not say anything. So when I got back to California, Gerald and I, we were talking to the artists. Come to find out, somehow they found out that we were talking to them, and so mad. And we lost our artist, and they lost their artist, and it was all this happened in the span of just a couple of days, So
it's so weird that when you're working for multiple publishers at one time, you just don't really talk to the other publisher about the other work that you're doing. Because you don't want them to, even though, if you're fast enough to do the 2 books a month or whatever, you're doing one for Marvel, one for Malibu, which at one time, that's kind of what I was doing. It's like, they know, they both of them know, but it's like, we don't need to talk about it.
Well, there's the thing too, which is like one of the other publishers or one of the other clients will suddenly think that because they're not number one, that you don't need to have any more work.
Yes,
exactly. You've got work. I'm going to give somebody else some. Or
there's a lot of pissy empire building, and it's better to just sort of keep your head down and not.
Just do the work and keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. I've told the story on here about almost selling the Green Lantern story, right? That I tell the story of that? I may not have. Before Malibu hired me, right, when I was freelancing, I had met a DC editor, and the DC editor and I had gotten along. They had read Cat and Mouse. They liked Cat and Mouse, and they had asked for some Green Lantern pitches, right? They said, hey, do something short. It wasn't a full issue. It was just a short. I can't remember how many pages. I want to say 12 pages. And so, I sent some pitches in. They chose one. I wrote the script. They gave me notes. I wrote the script. I sent the script in, sent it back with all kind of notes, revised it, sent it back in, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, while all this was going on, Malibu had said, hey, Roland, move to California. I said, okay, cool. Well, I got the last response I got from him was, I hear you've been hired by Malibu. Good luck. I'm like,
and he cut you off.
No,
that's just pissy empire building. That's nothing. It's because a good story and a good creator is worth everything.
It's like, come on, dude. We had a story. I did 3 revisions for you.
It's just nuts.
Yeah. Okay, what else? If you're doing this, you're wasting your time.
I have a good one.
Good, go.
It's not relevant anymore because the way the industry has changed.
Right.
However, I think it speaks to the larger issue of wasting time.
Okay.
Which is I did some consulting work for a guy who was going to self-publish, which was not really consulting work. He would just call me and ask me questions. And he's getting ready to self-publish his own first issue of a comic book. He had the artist. He was ready to go. And he was trying to work out his publishing plan. And what he did is, in the old days of multiple distributors, and also when it was just Diamond, Marvel used to have a thing called a skip week.
You're right. Yeah, I remember that.
Because they would take a break for whatever reason, and it would be factored into the publishing calendar that the 5th week, or the 5th Wednesday that showed up in July, they wouldn't publish something.
Right. And
that became a skip week. And he was convinced, based on his expertise, that all the people that if he released his book during the skip week, that all the people who would normally spend their money on Marvel comics would come to the shop with their Marvel money. There wouldn't be any Marvel comics to buy. That would be his in, and he was obsessed with that.
Oh no!
And I tried to talk him down off that ledge and said, it really doesn't work that way. Marvel comics buyers are Marvel comics buyers back in those days. They're not going to cross party lines to pick up your indie book, because you're dependent not on the skip week. You're dependent on the retailers to order your book,
right?
To put it in front of the audience. So it's not the Marvel audience coming into the store. It's the retailer taking a chance on your book. No. He couldn't be budging that, and he spent a ton of time doing that, and his comic book failed.
Oh,
And so it's
So we had a bad plan. That's where he wasted
and
it.
that's the thing too. If you become so convinced, like he became convinced of this by himself,
no,
and then when he ran it by me, it's like he could have run it by 10 other people, and I think he would have gotten
it
the
wouldn't
same
matter.
advice.
And you
so
gotta
I think that's
you tell them, okay, yeah, there is a skip week, but all of these books are still ordered in the same catalog.
yes,
Right? They're still shipping. It's still in one monthly catalog. That just happens to be and a monthly bill. That just happens to be week 5, but it's still in this catalog. They're still ordering all the Marvel books and the DC books.
And so that's, you may be able to write, or you may be able to draw, you may be able to publish, but you, at every step of the way, you should be looking for outside advice.
Yeah.
Before you get too deeply entrenched into your own vision of how things work.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think if you're going to consult people, right? Someone like Tom, who's got years of experience in the industry, you should take their work. It should be heavily weighted, right? You might still disagree with Tom, but I mean, you got to remember, okay, Tom's got this experience, and he probably knows a little bit more than my mother does about,
I think if you go to me and I give you the advice that you don't like, that should encourage you to seek out 5 or 6 other people,
right, ask them
who are.
See how people say the same thing. Yeah. Then you go, 5 people are saying the same thing.
Right, because I belong to the screenplay group on Facebook, and a lot of people are, they've written the greatest screenplay ever, and they can't understand why. Right. And they keep getting these notes from, contest entries and from readers or whatever. And it's like, well, if one person gives you the note, fine, you don't have to take it. If 5 people give you the exact same note on your script,
yes,
it's you.
Yeah.
And you still don't have to take it, but just understand it is you.
Or don't ask for don't ask for help if you're not going to be willing to at least listen to what
and I think a lot of people want that help. They don't really want help. They want their mother to tell them that they're loved.
Yeah.
And or their father to tell them that they've done great work. And I think that's when here's my baby, I have made it. And then if you shake your head and go, well, here's what's wrong with your baby. It's got tuberculosis.
No, it doesn't. Just a whoop. That's just a call.
Agent Cub said, what are things publishers, big or small, do that are a waste of time? Well, all right. So before as you guys are percolating, I think we have to, what's a waste of time? Because sometimes things that we look at what publishers are doing seems like a waste of time, but it's actually a marketing thing, right? You're like, well, that's why would you put a hole in the comic book cover, right? Or comic book? Why would you drill a hole all the way through the comic book? And then the editor's got to go in and go, I got to make sure none of the words are being, why? That seems like a waste of time, right?
Right.
But
it's marketing.
Yeah.
Well, is it a waste of time the only reason why it would be a waste of time is if it didn't work, right? Then you could say that was a waste of time.
But we never, when stuff like that failed, we never looked at it as a waste of time. We'd always have that after meeting where it's like, okay, we lost money, or it didn't work.
It didn't work.
What did we learn?
What did we learn?
Is it still a good idea, but we failed on the execution, or is it a terrible idea and we shouldn't do it again? And that's
and if you didn't gain the knowledge of what to do next time, then it really was a waste of time because you're just going to do it again.
Because I think if you make mistakes in publishing like that, which we all have done, especially me, the trick is to have that after meeting where it's like, okay, let's never do that again.
Right.
But it's more like, okay, where did we go wrong?
Why did this mess up? We thought this was going to be so good.
Right.
Why wasn't it?
And sometimes what we thought was a great idea, it's like by the time we heard from the retailers, it's like, well, from the retailer perspective, that's a terrible idea.
They did not like this at all. So
we were only thinking about ourselves. We were only walking around the office all smug going, oh, we're so cool. We got this great idea.
We're going to put a hole in a book.
And we sort of forgot to ask the our partners, basically,
Right.
the retailer.
The
The
retailers.
shop like,
Yeah.
we don't want books with holes in the middle of them.
But although I will say the bullet hole one did really well.
Yes,
It did do
Yeah.
well.
Oh yeah, it got
was so
national
unique.
media attention. It got comic book industry media attention, and it sold like crazy. So
Yeah. Yeah, I talk about that in my class sometimes when they ask about marketing, and I said just look up bullet hole comic and you'll see. Yeah. It's like, yeah, you may not remember the timing, Tom, but that was one of the first things I had to do when I moved to California. The first one was Airman,
right.
and I still remember Olm handing it to me and he said fix this.
Because the thing is, here's what we would, again, we're way off topic, but here's what we would do is
Let the new guy.
we'd made the deal to bring Roland out to California, but there's lag time. There's lag time between when
Yes.
Roland says yes and when Roland can physically like drive across country with his house full of stuff and his wife and get an apartment and get set up and then come into the office. There's a lag time. And so things that would pop up, we'd all sit around in the editorial meeting. Roland's going to be here in like 3 weeks.
We had a block too.
Here's a problem. What should we do? Well, Roland's going to be here in 3 weeks. We should. I mean, he'll need something to do.
Let's wait. Let
Yeah,
him do
we
it.
need something to do that's not really too complicated. We'll give him some of this work stuff to do.
He should
Busy
hit
work.
the ground running, and then Scott would always be like, "Well, he's on the clock. We need hours a day worth of work." It's like, well, we have some problems he can solve for us.
Yeah.
Because when you came in, you didn't come in empty-handed.
No.
So you had a whole lot of busy work to do when you got there.
There's no orientation day.
Yeah, no, there was no. There was like you already know Mickey, Tom, Dave. Those are people that do that stuff. Now here's your work.
Yeah,
Because the thing that's bad from your perspective really is that we knew you,
Yes.
so we didn't have to. We'd worked with you for years before, so there's no real learning curve where people have to sit down and hold your hand. It's like
Yeah.
here's some stuff to edit. We already expect you to know how to do it.
Yeah.
so you pointed at a desk. It had all kind of papers on top of it, and Roland's like, "What's that for?"
Yeah.
That's your work. Get over there and get the work.
Yeah.
He looked like a Charles Dickens character. He had
There were processes I had to learn.
right.
Because,
Who does this and who does that?
Right. Yeah. And if when this comes up, this is how I would do it. How do you want me to do? How do you want me to handle it?
Right.
And you take that to this person. Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Whatever you do, don't talk to Tom about it.
Yeah. Not my problem.
That's right. Roland, I'm in marketing. I can't help you.
Agent Cubs, did you have your own office, Roland? No. When I got there, we were at the Westlake Village, and the editorial offices were kind of a big U. Because I think that center room was a closet or something. I don't remember what was there, to be honest with you.
That was the original art room.
Okay. Yeah. That's where the art was kept. And so you come in one end of the door, that's where Tom and his people were, right? And
Tom had people.
Yeah, Tom had people because he had Kara and Kim Schulter, Stacy.
Yep.
They were all over there. And then there was Olm and Dwo and Dan Danko as you're going around the U, and Dan Danko. And then as you went around, I don't remember anybody being around because that's where I ended up.
Well, the four colorists used to be there, but then they were moved when we expanded, and then it was you and Mike Brown.
Yeah,
and then
Schellinger moved over there with me when she got added to the department.
Right, and then at the top of the U was sort of the empty space that would be filled almost immediately by more people coming in.
I actually have a couple of pictures. I don't know if I have them. I don't think I have them right here. But
They are right
there. No. It's a funny thing. I just recently saw them because when I broke my arm jumping off the train, I had a picture taken right there at my desk. And I have my cast on. So it was a really good shot of my desk. I've got video somewhere also. Of you
jumping off the train.
No, not of me jumping off the train, of walking through the Westlake Village's offices.
Yeah. That would have been was that Darren's video?
No, I took my own video.
Oh, okay.
I'd been there for just a little bit. My parents and I used to send videos. We didn't write letters. We sent videos back and forth to each other.
Oh, that's cool. What a great idea.
And so what we would do is BJ and I would often just sit down on the couch. We'd set the camera up and we'd just sit there.
One of those
Hey, Mom,
big old
Dad,
camcorders.
here's what we did this week. You know, we did this, we did that, blah, blah, blah. And then we'd send them a tape and they'd get it and they'd watch it. And then they'd make us a tape and send it back. And
that's terrific.
yeah. And so one of the days I just I took the camcorder. I'm like, all right, Mom and Dad, here's where I work. This is the parking lot I park at. And I'm like, here's where I walk into the door. And I just went through the office.
The ultimate selfie.
Yeah, it really was.
That's terrific.
So I don't know if I have any of those left.
It'd be priceless if you did.
I know I have the tour. It wasn't real long. It was just me kind of walking through and just showing him stuff. I think Kirk Patterson was there. So he's on my video.
He came in about the same time because he was ready to organize a sports team almost immediately.
Right.
How many people do we have? Do you have enough for a baseball team?
Right. Yep. And actually that leads to this question. He says, how many people worked at Malibu?
Oh, this will fry your brain. So depends on what year. Originally, when we first started, there's 4 of us. There's me, Dave Obridge, Chris Alm, and Scott Rosenberg.
Yep.
Then we moved offices to the first new office, and there were 8 of us. Then we moved to Westlake Village, and there were like 35 or 40 of us.
Yeah.
And we moved to Agora Hills, and there were 135 of us.
Right.
Yeah,
there was a bunch.
Yeah. And Tommy, you asked earlier if Tom had people. I had 35 people.
Yeah.
At that point, who were reporting to me. And we also had an office in England for the video games. We had a branch over there. So we had 135, 140 people at any given time in 2 countries.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's a lot.
A lot of people. A lot of people. Yeah.
I don't recommend it necessarily, but I also miss it like crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I know I've said it to you personally, and I've said it live as well. Is like one of the things I think Malibu did well was you guys, and when I say you guys, I think of the 4 of you. You're right. You, Tom. Right. You are Tom. You, Chris, Dave, and Scott. You know, for the overwhelming majority of it, y'all hired good people. There were a lot of good, not just talented people, but good personalities, good people.
We relied on a couple of things, really. We relied on people who knew people. Most of the colorists came from people who knew other colorists or who knew other artsy people. Most of the video game people came from other video game people. Mm-hmm. And we also gave, like, if you showed any ability or any sort of talent or any sort of interest in the thing you were doing, you became a supervisor. You went right up the ladder. And it's like, okay, you've been here 3 weeks. Everybody loves you. You're now in charge of this.
Yeah.
Because and some people like Albert Calleros and George Cox and Mike Giles, we would give them responsibilities and they would prove that they were worthy.
Yeah. I don't remember how I got it, but I got put in charge of the intern program.
Right.
That we
I think because Chris couldn't do it anymore.
Okay.
Chris was the intern guy.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Here's Agent Cub has another question. He goes, at the peak, how many titles did you publish in 1 month?
Depends on what time frame you're using. Because at the black and white peak, we needed 30. At the black and white peak, we needed 32 titles a month.
Wow.
Ooh.
To make and that was just to make the cash flow.
Yeah.
And then Ultraverse grew from Ultraverse was like 12 or 14 a month.
Yeah.
And those were all full color. All the coloring and lettering was done in house. And then we had all the Panicha books. The Panicha books were probably 4 to 6 a month. And then
Rocket was still around then, wasn't it?
Yeah, Rocket was. Yeah.
But he didn't do monthlies so much.
No, he did. Yeah. He did event things, so it's like 2 or 3 a year. And then there's a couple other things that we did. We did licensed books that were not Star Trek.
Right.
So we did Virtua Fighter, and we did a Terminator one, and we did a couple other things, a Bruce Lee book. So we were easily doing 20 books a month, which really means you're doing 40 books a month, because you have tons of books in different parts of the process coming through.
Oh yeah.
The system.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like just for on any given title, in 1 month, I had a writer writing a script, a penciler penciling a different script, an inker inking a different script, the colorist then coloring the book, and probably one, somewhere at the printer. So
and then you're still in meetings, you're still fielding phone calls, you're still doing conventions and trade shows, you're still, it's a day.
Yeah, it is. It is. And always the Monday morning production meeting.
Right.
That's when no editor ever wanted to have anything late at the Monday morning production meeting.
No, because I would bust your balls.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is why on, again, we're way off topic, but which is why on Fridays you would always see everybody sort of scrambling around just to make sure they knew where everything was.
Yeah.
And how every problem could be solved.
Yeah. I know I had for me, the way I kept up with a lot of things, I had a big desk calendar, right? But then I also used an Excel spreadsheet to track each title and where was Tommy in inking, Nightman 13, right?
Where the pages are, who's got what page.
Right. You and Obert were the big Excel guys.
Yeah. I grew to really, really like. I think that was around the time I read the book, and it might have been because Ulrich recommended it. Excel for Dummies.
Excel for Dummies,
and it was it made a world of difference for me. Yeah. I have one last thing you're doing if you're wasting your time. Does someone else have something to say before I do it?
Let it go. Don't chase perfection.
Don't chase perfection. Oh man, that's
on the same thing. It's like get done with that page, put it to bed. Quit
put it to bed.
Yeah.
Noodling.
So let me ask you.
So Mike and I are on the same. High five, Mike. Where's the corner?
Yeah. So let me ask you a question about that. Would you set setting maybe a time limit for each page is a good idea? Like I'm going to devote 8 hours to this page or 6 hours.
I knew I needed to get a couple of pages done a day, but once it got to a point where it was professional, you know what I mean? It was good. Quit noodling on it and be done with it. Put it to bed. Yeah. Put it to the side. And if right before you run out to FedEx, if you want to look over them real quick and go, I really should tighten that face up real quick, and then just quit messing with it, because you can just sit there and
there's production and then there's post production.
That's what I always call it, noodling.
But if you don't you can't get to post production until you do production.
Yeah.
And if all you're going to do is sit there and noodle a hand to pieces, like I could do that better, or I could rechange this pose. But if it makes the story, if you're looking at the page and you can tell that story without any words, let it go. You could make it better, but should you?
Yeah. Right. That's exactly right. Because could you make it better? Well, of course you could make it better.
I think you need to be. You want to keep your eye on the prize.
More work put on
that's it.
Which is, and the prize is, it's even if I send it out like this, it isn't going to suck and it's not going to be awful.
Right.
It's still professional quality.
Right.
My prize is to get it published and get it out.
Yeah.
Well,
because I need to get on the next one.
The question I always say to ask yourself is if I spend an extra hour on this, is that extra hour I spend on this page going to sell that many more copies?
Nope.
And if the answer is ever yes, I want to talk to you.
Right. Yeah, really. You figured out something.
Right.
The
answer's always no. So move on.
Right.
If you're spending time on that perfect ceiling tile, you're wasting your time.
Right.
Yeah.
If you realize all that background that you're putting in is going to shrink down from this to this, and you're not going to see the people that you drew in that window because it's going to disappear. It's like you're wasting your time.
That's the thing too. Just because you can blow it up on the screen really big and ink every detail in the background, no.
That's one of the bad things people ask about the doing things digitally is being able to pinch it.
I caught Tommy doing that one time. Remember, we were at that mall show, and you were on your tablet then, and you had zoomed way in, and you were inking. I'm like, "What are you inking now?" And you went, "Oh crap! I probably shouldn't be inking that. No one's ever going to see it."
What am I doing? Because, I try to. My problem with doing that is on the iPad is I to slow the iPad down. I would ink things at a much higher resolution than what it needed to be, just because so it would tax the processing power in the iPad, because otherwise things would just move too quick.
Right.
Because the iPads are lightning fast. So, so I would, instead of just inking something at 300 dots an inch and 11 by 17, I may do 11 by 17 at, 1,000 dots per inch to slow that thing down. But when you're doing it at 1,000 dots an inch, you can zoom so far in.
Right.
And it's you gotta slap yourself every now and then.
Yeah, it was Trump's, and you had zoomed way in on something because I was like, "What are you inking now? I don't recognize that."
Stop it.
It's not lazy to say and be rational. Somebody might look at that panel for a minute after they read the blurb. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I don't care if you're Byrne or Jim Lee or whatever.
And if you don't have any words on it, they might not even spend a minute on there. They might not
barely look at it.
Yeah.
So,
man, the smoke I drew on this page looks so great. It's epic.
If you look back at I know it's a different era, but if you look back at some of the 60s Marvel and DC comics and into the 70s, they don't draw all the windows on the building. They don't even color everything is colored in like a one color or two or monochrome, whatever.
Yeah.
And you still get the story. It's still story. The storytelling is still solid.
Right.
However, I don't need to see all the windows in the background.
No, I don't.
I get it's a small building. I get it's New York City.
The only time
you don't have to do one. Yeah.
The only time I need to see all the windows in the building is when Sergio Aragonés draws it, and then he's got somebody in every window.
Right. Because they're all doing something funny.
Because the little gags. He's drawing gags in there that mean something.
Agent Cub said, "Did you have artists working in the office?"
Yes,
we did.
It again depends on how you define the term artist. So we had in the artist in the room was we had so there's a letter
working on a book too, weren't they most of the time?
Yeah, there's a letter. There's Tim Eldred. There's inker Larry Welch. Inker Scott Reed was there, and some of those guys could also pencil.
Right.
And so they had.
We also had Pat
Williams. Pat Owsley.
Pat Owsley, who's the
they were working on a
we had Dave Lamphere.
Dave Lamphere, right? And Albert Deschênes.
Albert Deschênes, yep.
And so what they did is they would do they were there for art corrections. They were there to fix the hand that the other inker in Florida or whoever forgot
the one that had two thumbs on it.
Right. And so, and that way you don't have to send the pages back and forth. You could there'd be a guy there to do it. And so they would make corrections, but also they would get assignments. And so to supplement their income, so they could sit there all day and they could, ignite man as an assignment until, somebody said, look, there are 3 thumbs on this guy.
Yeah, fix this.
Fix this.
Yeah.
What is this blob?
Right. And I can't express how great it was at the time to have a line of people that could just do those things for you in a minute. Because it's corporate comics, it's the assembly line, and you have the assembly line in the building.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not having to, because if you had to FedEx it for corrections, there was that day wasted. FedEx could get it to them the next day if you overnighted it, right?
Right.
And I know we frowned on overnighting because it was just more expensive. But if you overnighted it, then they would get it. They would have to work on it that day. Maybe if they could finish it,
maybe
they would. Maybe, yeah. And then they would. So you're looking at 4 days. 4 or 5 days.
It takes a 3 hand.
Right, where I could take it to the art department and they could have it back to me the next day.
Right.
Sometimes, depending on what it was that day, and when I got it to them.
Can you just move that word balloon down? Put it over that hand, so we don't have to worry about it.
You can do that too, and so it's if you're doing corporate assembly line comics, that's really the only way to do it. Now it's faster because you just send it over.
You just,
Right.
Yeah, hey Thomas, look at panel 5. Fix that.
But it's
It's
still a pain because you don't know what that individual creator has on their schedule for that day.
Right. Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
if you're going to do big office comics, you should have people.
Big office comics. Yeah.
That's the new publishing going on.
That's a new publishing company. Big Office Comics.
Big Office Comics. BOC for sure.
Yeah. The only other thing I had on my list, guys, was and this is not as big a deal as it once used to be. What with the printing now, but and that is if you are printing your books before you have any orders for them, you're wasting your time.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Because why would you go out and print? Well, let's just look at it two ways. Why would you go print 1,000 copies when you're not really sure how many it's going to sell? You might sell 300 copies, but also why would you go print like 20 copies and suddenly you've got orders for 300? Right? You don't have enough. Wait until you have orders order more than you order more printed than what you get ordered for, so that you can take them to shows and do signings at your local comic shops. But you don't want to be stuck with 1,500 books sitting in your garage because you ordered too many to be printed.
Unless it's some sort of time sensitive thing where whoever you're doing the books for, they don't know how many they need. They said, they just give you a handful of money and say, here, print all these things ahead of time. We use them, we do. If we don't, we don't.
Yeah, if money is no object, that's a little bit different, right?
I mean, every now and again that comes, you get that kind of weirdness where whoever's fronting the money just doesn't care.
So before we go, I have a question for Mike.
Okay.
Because Mike is the auteur of the group, as a self-publisher of his own creation.
Hey, don't call him names. We like Mike.
It's a French name. It means good things.
Oh, is he French?
French for author. And so, but when you were starting out doing Man in the Mask, is there stuff that you realized later you had wasted your time doing and you don't do anymore?
I mean, there's stuff that I had to cut out just because of time. You had to, what kind of process were you doing?
Right.
It's like with anything you work on, you end up finding out ways of doing things faster. But there was a lot of stuff that I was spending way too much time on. And just, sometimes you have to just steal it, because I used to do full pencils. That was stupid. I mean, I'm inking the stupid thing.
Right.
But I love the, you have to what I had to do, I had to separate the what I loved about doing it, which is I loved the penciling part. The inking is something I have to do. But the penciling was something I really, it was like, it always made me feel like, when I was a kid sitting in my room just drawing and nobody was telling me to do anything. It was just me doing it. So I would spend more time on the pencils. But then when I got to the inking part, I was exhausted because I had done so much. It's like, oh man, I got to draw this again.
Yeah.
Right.
And
so I had to kind of cut that love of penciling down to, if I want to get a book out, I can spend 6 months, a year on doing this book, but I'm going to have one book done this year.
And
so
then
I
if
mean,
you got to color it, you've seen it again for the third time.
Exactly.
You got to do it for the fourth time.
Yeah. So you're recycling. But the good thing about it was when I started cutting back on the penciling, the inking became more enjoyable, and now the inking's more improvisational than I used to, because when I would fully pencil it, I mean, I was sticking it right to it. It was like I was literally tracing it. I had done so much on the penciling, I was just inking it. I was just tracing it. But now where I barely get form. I give enough just to give me, I have my notes on the page and whatever to make sure that I have guides. But the inking's all improvisational now, that it doesn't look remotely, again, because the pencils are so loose now. But I enjoy the inking because of it, because I get to do more stuff.
Do you find more surprises in the art that way?
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, because I can do a more bouncy line with even digitally, the pencil tool is like a pencil. It looks different than the ink line. The ink line can look a little more bouncy if you're making it a little bit thicker, trying to draw out something to make something pop out a little bit better. And so, the inking process really is giving it life. It's because while my full pencils were enjoyable, it looks like a nice, as far as my art went, I thought it had a nice touch to it. But now that I'm doing the inking is mostly the job.
Yeah.
It's got more life to it. I'm giving it more life because I feel like I can do more with ink.
Well,
even digitally.
And you have
I
to
feel
look
there's
at the
energy
end
in
goal.
your pages from that.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. You end up, finding different things because I was handicapped. That's one thing by sticking to the letter of my pencils, I was kind of handicapping myself. I wasn't, really allowing myself to go outside those lines and do something. But now I'm completely, like I said, I'm almost drawing sometimes with ink because I find something looks better when I can do it this way.
That's a great answer. I like that.
Yeah.
So kids, take it from Mike.
That's right. Yeah. And the thing is, you've got, it's all you. And so you're not looking to have a penciled page. You're looking to make a comic book.
Right.
And so
a finished page. So you don't need to spend as much time as you would if somebody else was inking it. Right.
No. Like I said, if I was passing it on to Tommy or something, I'd probably have a lot more on it. But now since it's just me, I can do it along with it.
Be a little more scribbly, loose.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
We'll have to do that. We'll have to get you to pencil up something for Tommy to ink.
One of these days, I agree.
You can do it on the show.
Yeah.
I'll work on that. I'll come up with something for you. I'll come up with something for you guys to do so we can use it.
There goes my idea then.
Tommy, you've got GalacticCon coming up here on this Saturday, right?
Saturday, yeah. But I had it pulled up on this other page over here. So it's where's the times? It doesn't have the times on this thing. So I'm sure it's probably the normal 10 to 5.
Something like that, probably.
Show up at noon, you'll find him.
It's going to be in Winter Garden, Florida, which is right down from the house at Bridgewater Middle School. So it'll be me and No Way Jose is going to be doing the show.
That's right.
So that'll be
and
fun.
Others. It's not just the two of you.
What?
There'll be other people there, not just the two of you.
Oh yeah. There'll be other people there.
Otherwise, it's TommyCon.
TommyCon.
I would go to that.
I would too. Only if we go out to lunch afterwards.
Who else do you need to see? Come on.
What about Mike or Tom? Y'all doing anything this next week or two?
No.
Nope.
And although at the end of March, I will be walking around WonderCon.
Okay, end of March.
Looking through dollar bin boxes.
Woohoo! My favorite thing to do.
So it's fun.
On Tuesday, a panel of comic creators talk about the importance of understanding anatomy and shapes if you want to be a comic artist, and offer some tools and resources to help you learn. Understanding Anatomy. That's this coming Tuesday at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. On Wednesday, the Whammers are going to talk about what is love. With 10 days to go before Valentine's Day, the Whammers reflect on some of the best and the most tainted loves in comicdom.
That gets me. I got a tear forming in my eye.
That is Wednesday. Next week, everyone who works in comics had to start somewhere. Though he never wanted to be in the comic industry, many know Tom Mason as a creator for Dinosaurs for Hire. So how did Tom start his journey into comics? Next week, we're going to talk about Tom Mason's journey into comics.
It feels like I talked enough already, though.
We're gonna go. Let's take us, Tom. Take us back to
the beginning.
Well, it all began. I was born in the house I helped my father build. You're
so creative.
That's us next week.
I never wanted to be in comics, and so it's you can ask how that happened.
Me and Mike and Tommy, we're going to bring the questions for you. So
bring the heat, boys. Bring the heat.
I'll do my best, James Lipton.
If I could be a tree, what tree would I be?
I'm gonna look up some comparison things to ask you.
I'd be weeds. That's what.
Oh yeah, Tommy, you've got to.
I'm gonna find.
We expect that.
I'm gonna have.
I can give you a couple of emails to reach out to also.
Okay, all right.
That's true.
We may have some behind this curtain is such and such.
Does this voice sound familiar?
Yeah, does this voice sound familiar? What was the name of that show?
What it's not Queen for a Day. It's This Is Your Life.
This is your life.
This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
your life.
yeah. This is your life.
You remember back
All
in the
right.
day when we
We'll
used to
do
be in high school
next
together?
Sunday. Remember to
Make
mine
mine
silver line.
Silverline.
Good night, everybody.
I
That
drink
was
it out on my
backwards for
laptop.
me.
You don't put
Hey, this is Paul Pelletier. Make mine Silverline. Is that okay, Roland?